Welcome to this episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. I'm Aric.
And I'm Angie.
We are married with a ton of kids.
We have 6 kids total. He has 3 and I have 3.
My name's Hallie and I love riding horses.
My name's Lexi and I've always been the most responsible.
My name's Carter and I like picking on my siblings.
My name's Chase and I love a clean truck.
My name's Summer and I still like to spend my parents' money.
My name's Dane and I love baseball.
And around here, we talk about the real stuff. Parenting, marriage, faith.
Along with grief, growth, second chances, and blended family life.
And all the in-between moments that don't make it to Instagram.
Our podcast is for the couples figuring it out, the parents trying their best, and the ones holding faith and heartbreak in the same hand.
Look, we don't have it all together.
Not even close.
But we do have honesty.
And a whole lot of grace.
This is Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess.
Let's get into it.
This episode is brought to you by Sevens Boutique, an online shop created by 2 sisters, Angie and Jess, who believe you should walk boldly, dress divinely, and know your significance. At Sevens, you'll find easygoing pieces that are cozy, classy, and made to mix and match. Think relaxed pants, cozy sweaters, and lifestyle sets you'll want to live in. Every item is handpicked with purpose, so you can shop confidently, dress comfortably, and walk boldly. Inventory is small and curated, so if you see something you love, don't wait. Visit sevensboutique.com and use the code PODCAST10 for 10% off your first order. www.sevensboutique.com. Walk boldly, dress divinely, know your significance.
Welcome to this week's episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess, where I appreciate you listening each and every week, as always. And some weeks when we're doing the podcast, it can feel light and fun. And sometimes it can feel heavier. And just kind of in a season right now where it feels like we're in grief, but having to figure out how to move through the grief and all those different things, I would say.
Yeah, we've talked about you rocking the 75 hard and what you've learned through that. We've talked about the gun violence awareness last weekend. So we thought we'd just do a check-in. Like, how are we doing? What's top of mind for us? What are we struggling with? What do we feel like we're doing well? And we'll start with what we're doing well.
Okay.
This is not in the script, so a little surprise.
All righty. Here we go.
But it's summertime at our house. And so we actually have Carter here most of the summer, and I am totally enjoying that. He eats like I eat. He's
clean and healthy, in case you're
funny. It was just great to have around. But it's summertime, and the kids are coming and going all the time. They all have jobs. They're all learning things this summer. Chase has the real job.
As he would tell you.
That's a little family joke, because he is working in construction and working 410s and getting up early. And so he likes to let everybody know that he's got the real job.
Yes.
Anyway, so it's summertime, and I do feel like our kids are all living their best life. And so it's fun to see that. I feel like they're hanging by the pool together. It's like, you never know who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. But like, as a mom, I love to see that. That's your whole point of having kids and raising these humans, is that they get to experience life and live their best life.
Yeah. And it also means that then we have to figure out, like, how much do we involve ourselves? How much do we let them fail forward? As, you know, we like to sometimes
We have different
say.
opinions about that.
I still probably hold on to that a little too tight at times. But yeah, so we have all of those things going on, and then trying to figure out, like, there's time for us. And so we did make some time in the middle of the week and had a fun date. I would say I enjoyed it.
It was fun. We went to go see Phoenix. Well, you had a lesson like the week before. So
by myself, which I don't normally do. Yeah.
Aric, I think it's cool. It's cool to see, like, you wanting to learn to ride and all the things. I do like getting on Phoenix, but I will say for me, it still makes me super nervous. But we all tend to go to our comfort zone. And especially with losing Hallie, I always still try to find the things that remind me of her. Obviously, it's going to the horse barn. Like I've said a million times, it's like my cemetery. But also, from when she was little on, she started with English writing lessons to learn how to post and have that great posture, and then decided she was more interested in barrel racing after that. But from when she was like 7, that's what I did, is stand there at the gate, at the fence, and watch her ride. And I think that's what I still love to do. So whether it's Aric riding or one of the kids riding, like I would even just enjoy watching the trainer ride or another girl at the barn ride Phoenix. It brings me back to like all that time that I spent with Hallie at the barn. So Aric did great riding. And then when you were wrapped up, you were like, okay, Angie, get on. I'm like,
I want her to get on. I've tired this horse out. She's going to be good. And I will say this, whenever Angie gets on Phoenix, Phoenix knows that mama needs her to be good, that mama is hurting.
And there was one time she took off on me.
No,
we were outside.
And so she knows. And so she acts very well behaved, like she knows that Angie just needs her to be still with her and to go slow. And I think it's really beautiful to watch. But
yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer that I have a special connection with Phoenix. I mean, as soon as I go see her, it's like her face is right in my face. And I just can we just stare at each other's eyes. I don't know. It's like a weird thing. And that's very, I don't want to say healing, but it is a connection for sure. And so when I got on her this time, because it's been a minute. I don't know how long it's been, probably 4 months.
It's been a minute since you've been on.
Since I've been on her.
Yeah.
And I just complete overwhelmed emotions. And I just started crying. Like I couldn't get it together for a second. And I don't know what that was. I felt very connected to Hallie. Just there's times also it's like, how in the actual F did I get here? How am I sitting on this horse? It should be Hallie. Anyway, it's tough, but also beautiful. And horses, gosh, they just have this like unique ability to mirror human emotions. And I feel like that's why she slows down, because I think she feels that heaviness. And then they also regulate our own nervous systems as well. And one of the things that the trainer said is like, out of all the people that has been on Phoenix, she's like, she is the happiest when you are on her. That's when she's like the most relaxed. Anyway, it was
pretty cool.
It was good. It was it's always good for me to be at the barn and get some time with Phoenix, whatever that looks like. But
when I'm on Phoenix, I'm talking to Hallie the whole time. So it's like, you seem like I'm always up there just like, come on, Hal, what do we do? What do I do here, Hal? How do I do this? Talk to her. And then I feel like sometimes Phoenix wants to go fast. And I feel like that's Hallie.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. One other thing I do want to point out that I think is funny is she was telling us, this has happened a couple times now, and for the first time at this new barn, sometimes she will get out of her pen. I don't see any way she could get out of her pen.
Not out of this one.
Yeah.
Now, the other one, she was
maybe.
Totally see how
but not this one. And I just think that has to be like Hallie in the middle of the night being like, all right, Phoenix, go get some. Yeah, go get. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So afterwards, I thank the trainer and stuff because she's so great. She actually lost her brother tragically. So there's a connection there too. She knows this level of pain. I believe it was gun violence as well. But she said, you guys don't realize this, of how special of a horse that you have, because I just don't normally ever see 3-year-olds that are this level headed, that she just trusts her, and the way she reacts or doesn't react is crazy. Of course, she's right. There's no way in hell we would know that.
Right, sure.
Even when she's like, she's the happiest on you, I'm like, well, how can you tell? What does that even mean? Anyway, but like that was good for my soul this week. And we have a lot of goodness going on with the kids, and just super proud of all of our kids. I just feel like they're all in a good spot. And that, as a parent, as you guys all know, is such a gift. And I think that's really what I want to talk about today, and some of the challenges, because I believe whether you've lost a child or not, like this is something that's hard to navigate. For me, it's like there's this weird level of exhaustion that comes with, I'm so grateful. Like I'm so grateful for all of our kids. And I told Chase the other day, you just don't even realize how a phone call to your mom can change the entire trajectory of my day. And kids don't know that, but the impact that they can have on their parents. But to see all that and be grateful, but then also at the same time carry this grief. And I know we've talked about that often on this podcast, but it's like trying to balance, how do you really celebrate your kids becoming who they're supposed to be? And it is a beautiful thing, but also this like tightness in your chest every time they leave, or you think about a child that is struggling or not here. And it's also trying to balance being proud that they're building this life, but also knowing that eventually they're going to walk out that door.
Yeah.
They're going to leave. And I personally have been struggling with this the last month or two, really heavy. I know it's coming, but the twins, they're almost 18. And I had a conversation with them of the summer time. You're getting at the age where you don't have to be oh, I'm at my mom's this weekend or I'm at my dad's this weekend. You're working jobs, you're coming and going. I know they love to go to the Lake of the Ozarks. So I want you to go live your life. At the same time, I really don't want them to. I do. I'm kidding, but I do. But I was not prepared for for that to feel like loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It feels like loss to me. And when you are grieving or you're in a heavy part of your life, something that maybe shouldn't feel as heavy carries a way bigger weight than what you would expect it to. And so it's this trying to figure out, how do you carry that when life keeps moving? How do you navigate my emotions of feeling this loss, but knowing that it's happening and there's nothing that I can do about that?
It's definitely a tricky scale. Right?
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out how much do we continue to push them out of the window and fly a little bird, but then also I want you to be home so that I can continue to experience life with you. Because what I've definitely noticed is as your kids get older and they get to be fun to hang out with, you want to hang out with them. They don't want to hang out with you. Not that much. They're hanging with their friends and yada, yada. And that's why we always say we're so happy when we can get the kids together, which is hard to do. And so it is difficult. I mean,
I'm laughing because I just thought about one thing that you brought up that you shared on the radio that you told me you shared this on the radio about
what you're gonna say.
Wifing versus momming.
Yeah, I talked about this.
I just feel like we should just talk about that.
I talked about this on the radio this week. She mentioned earlier that Chase, he has his real job. So he's up at 5 every morning. Well, I'm usually up at 5 to go to the gym, right? And as Angie has talked about on here before, with me getting up to go to the gym while she's proud of me, I wake her up. So she's like, you wake me up, blah, blah, blah. So I've tried to get really quiet. I put my clothes out in the morning.
Sleep in that's how we talked about it, because you slept in your shorts.
Try to sleep in my shorts to make it quiet, whatever I could do, right?
Also, I don't get mad. You're just hey, did you go back to sleep? I'm like, no, I was awake when you left.
Well, so anyway.
When have I gotten mad?
I don't right now.
No, have I?
Scary.
Have I gotten mad at setting?
Seems like I have bothered you.
He's very dramatic.
So
very dramatic. I've not been mad.
I was talking about this on the radio. So that's wifing, right? I'm trying to better myself, and she's not happy that she probably wants me to stay in bed.
That's so dramatic.
She probably wants me to stay in bed with her. That's probably what it is. I should read the signs. I should read the signs. Anyway, one morning this week, it was Tuesday morning, my alarm went off at 5 a.m. And then I noticed Angie's alarm also went off at 5 a.m. And then Angie gets up, she throws some clothes on, she goes in the kitchen and she's making coffee and breakfast. I'm like, wait, what? It wasn't for her. It wasn't for me. That's for sure. It was for Chaser. So she could make sure Chase had a coffee for the road and breakfast and his lunch all packed up and ready to go. And she could just wish him well on his day. And then as soon as she's out the door, she's like, see you, bye, back to bed. Yeah. And I was like,
yeah, that's real life.
That is wifing versus momming.
Yeah.
They're two things. She can love us both, and they can both occur in that regard.
I thought you were weaned. Maybe you weren't.
Just saying. It's wifing versus momming, and I'm sure some folks can relate. So,
well, it's related to this topic, so that's why I brought it up, because I know that is fleeting. That time is fleeting. He's going to be 18, and if there's little things that I can do for him like that's special between a mom and her kiddo, I'm going to do it, and that I can do that because I know in a year that's done. And guess who's always going to be around? Faithful here. So one day I'll make you coffee at 5 o'clock. But it's not right now. I'm focused on my kiddos that are heading out the door, and he doesn't like that.
I'm fine with it. I love the movie Toy Story. I think it's great when the toys are in the attic, hoping to get played with someday. I love that scene.
He's the biggest baby. And also your kids know that you're a baby. Big old baby.
Just fun.
Yeah.
Just fun time.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, let's just kind of talk about today, how we try to balance living in a way that's moving forward, but also with grief. Because I think what happens a lot of times, we always try to reach out to people long after their grief moment has occurred, because we know that their grief has not ended. And I think a lot of times what happens is, here we are 3.5 years since we've lost Hallie. And I think some people probably think like, oh, you guys should be over it, or this chapter is whatever they think. And would you just say that, when people misunderstand that, when they're surviving something like that, it means you eventually move on how they're trying? I mean, that seems to be a place people get hung up.
Totally. I think if you haven't experienced it, I think that is what people think, like it's a chapter in a book. I thought that. I mean, literally, I shared this too early on in the podcast. Like when I was going to the first therapist I went to, it was like, tell me the stages. Like, how do I get through this? And I look back down, I'm like, oh my God, what an idiot. I mean, I did think grief was like a chapter and you get through it and you close it and then, but it doesn't work that way. You don't ever finish it. It is just a part of who you are. And I think that's where... Hello.
Were you doing a podcast?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I was looking for you because I need to go.
Okay, give me 10 minutes.
Okay, and we're going to quarters.
Yeah, that's fine.
I want to say hi. All right.
Is it raining or anything outside? No.
Did you get a haircut today?
I got all my hairs cut today. Dad joke.
You should have got it dyed. It looks a little gray. I'm joking.
Okay, bye. The chapter is never finished. And I think that's also why I try to do more things for the kiddos that matter, those moments that matter, because I know it's all fleeting. And there's also this fear factor of, I know what hell it is living without Hallie. And there's this fear of like, I don't want to ever go through that again. And so I'm going to make damn sure that everything counts. But losing Hallie and that grief it's never going to go away. You're just figuring out how to live with it.
Yeah, I think
live, because like I shared with Aric last week, or it might have been this week, where I'm like, I just feel like we got to figure out how to start having fun again or something. It's like you get in these pockets of your life where it's just like, God, this is just so heavy.
Yeah, for sure. So like in where we're at right now, like what does that feel like compared to the beginning? And then now that we're trying to find a balance.
Well, in the beginning, it's complete shock. You're not processing anything for the first year.
Breathe, get through the day.
You're unreal. You're numb. It just all feels unreal. And yeah, you don't even know. I don't remember what I did or how I got through each day. You just can't even process it. Now you just live your life with this awareness, the reality of it all, knowing exactly what's missing, knowing that huge gap in your life, that void. And I think that's where the weird part is, because everything around you keeps moving. You don't have a choice. People were like, oh, I'm so proud of you for, moving ahead. Like, well, I didn't have a freaking choice. Like I had to. The world kept moving. My kids kept growing up. Like I can't not miss out. I can't miss out on that.
And that's part of the weird part that we're in right now. It's like they're still growing, teenage years, so the hard ones, right? It's not even an easy time. And so we're trying to heal and yet still make it so that they have a childhood. Really? I mean, the struggle is real.
And yeah, that's the other layer to it. And like, especially the twins, I'm so proud of them because they have been hit with some very, very hard things. I mean, the obvious is losing their sister, but their dad is also battling cancer, which we've not ever talked about on here. But for those kids to also take that on, that worry on, that fear on, they've had doors closed on them that they prayed about, disappointments that this all could like easily harden them. But instead, I just watched them still choosing differently. They pray, hopefully instead of panic, but I've seen the panic, but they pray, they trust in God, they care deeply for people instead of shutting down. And they're still trying to live fully when life has given them a reason not to. And at the end of the day, to me, that's what matters most, more than anything. Not their GPA. I don't give a shit. We
joke.
We talk about this all the time. Like, it's not the sports. I don't care. Not what people think. I could give two shits what people think of me. And I want my kids to have that too. What matters the most is who they are as humans. And like, I just feel like that's one thing to stand on. That's what I continually want to stand on. It's who they're becoming when life's heavy. And I think that applies to everybody, no matter what you're going through. It's like not getting hung up on the stuff that does not matter. And that's why grievers feel so alone, because the world doesn't have that same viewpoint. And we run into it sometimes too. yes, you're grieving too, but there's times where you get stressed about stuff, a bill that might be coming in. And I'm like,
Big bill, but yes.
my God. I'm like, dude, it doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't matter.
So then,
And I bet I say that 20 times a day.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I think what I'm really impressed with the twins, especially, is that they don't play life as victims, and they really could. They've had a lot of bad things, and they do not play the victim card ever.
Mm-hmm.
They just put their big kid pants on and they get back to work. So I would say that has to feel like a win for you as a parent.
Oh my God. Totally. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of them. I don't know how I would have handled that at all that they've been through at that age. I didn't have the foundational elements that I think we've helped them build, but also they're adults almost. I mean, they make their own choices in life. Yeah, I just didn't expect to struggle with them growing up and not being as home as much. And they're out there living their lives, spreading their wings like they should, like you want them to. And I'm proud of it. But then at the same time, it also feels like loss. And I'm tired of loss.
Okay, so yeah, that's fair. But like at that point, I guess, what part hits you harder? Like the house being quiet, empty? Is something deeper that bothers you? Like,
Oh,
what are
it's
you?
totally deeper than that. I mean, it's not the noise and the coming and going, crazy schedules. It's that fear that comes with having to let go again, because no one prepares you for letting go of your kids and letting them grow up after you've had to let go of a child permanently. No one talks about that. There's no manual for that kind of anxiety. It's just not that they're growing up. It's that they're growing up and I've already lived through the worst case scenario. So even, like I said earlier, even the normal things feel heavy.
And did that start like right after you lost Hallie, or is that more because the twins are going to be seniors in high school?
Well,
what do you think?
It's weird because
Carter's moving out for good this summer?
Yeah.
For good, maybe? I don't know. We'll see.
It's weird because, well, obviously it was after Hallie died, but like even when Hallie went to college, I didn't have this like fear of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to let her go. I never experienced this feeling of loss, because like when she left for college, I was so excited for her. I wanted her to grow and explore and experience life, get away from the boyfriend. And, then life became something different than what I could have ever imagined when she was gone. And so now I feel like this awareness that nothing is ever guaranteed the way that I initially assumed it. And, the twins have been what has kept me breathing through the seasons that I didn't want to. And I had this conversation with Chase recently. I'm like, when I was talking about just a simple phone call to his mom, I mean, these kids, I'm like, I'm not putting this on you. This is not you're doing what you need to be doing. But I'm like, hey, you just don't realize how much you guys have been such a light for me. And so even the normal growing up things like them not being at home as much and stuff like that just is deeper than an empty nest. It just feels like my nervous system doesn't know how to separate normal life from loss.
Well, what then would you say that you need the most right now? Whether that's from me, from a child, from a friend, what do you think that you need?
I need to make coffee at 5 a.m. for Chase.
Got it.
I need a simple phone call, which after that conversation, he has been like, I'm going to try to call you on my lunch at work. And so it's these small, very intentional moments. The connection is just, it could be a 5-minute phone call that makes a huge difference. So it's just that intentional time. We have our vacation coming up, which we're not going to have a podcast next week.
Because we're on
not
vacation.
Doing it. Eric wanted to record it. I'm like, no, let's take the week off. So we're going to be on vacation with the kids. And so that obviously would fill my cup big time. It's just getting that time with them, with like the horse riding, like intentional moments like that are great.
Well, I mean, we talked a little bit last week. By talk, I listened and then we engaged because Angie said, I'm tired of having a depressing house because we've been in survival mode for so long, whether it's working, trying to be healthy the way we have been and do the right things, air quotes. And she's like, somewhere I think we've lost the fun and lightness that it takes to be in a home. And so she is wanting an atmosphere that's lighter and more fun. And so my question was like, what does that even look like right now? Like, where do we go from there?
Talk about what you really thought?
I thought about a lot of things.
I'm like, oh my God, I open up a whole can of worms just by saying like, we need to be more intentional of like going and doing something more fun stuff or lightheartedness, because I do feel like we work all the time, because that's just how we're wired. But also, I don't feel like that's 100% healthy either. And then you were like, well, what does that mean? What does it mean to go have fun again? I'm like, I don't really know. I think it's just an awareness that we need to like try to keep it a little lighter at home. It's summertime, so you've got like good energy with the kids and all of that. But it doesn't mean the grief's going to go away. But like, how can we lighten it up a little bit? Because at the time, when I said that, it was just everything was feeling so heavy. I just don't want survival and being like strong to be the only thing that we're really good at.
We're almost a week since you said that to me. How do you feel like the week has been?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I mean, like I said, we took time out and went to do a horse lesson. And tomorrow night, we're going to go to the College Baseball World Series in Omaha. And so I feel like that's going to be good.
I know that I have been very intentional this week of trying to be as light as I can be. Doesn't mean I haven't had a hiccup here or there, but I have tried to keep things as light as possible for all involved. So, and maybe that's just where we're at seasonally right now.
Yeah. It's seasons for sure. You know, the funny thing as we wrap up, just kind of sharing where we are at this point in time, is on Wednesday. Well, let me back up. We have
let me start, because I've explained this on the radio multiple times in the last 2 weeks.
Our house is a bird haven. Like, I know we've talked about that. There's birds everywhere all the time in our house. Happened gutters, they're like everywhere.
It happened after Angie wrote Feathers Matter, after we lost Hallie. So all these birds started camping out at our house. Well, we have birds right now that built a nest outside of our front door. And people are like, we'll just move the nest. Well, you can't move the nest. They built it out of mud up against the stone on our home. And so what happened is that all of a sudden we noticed all this bird poop outside of our front door. I mean, it's gross. I feel bad for the FedEx, UPS, Amazon guy every day because it looks bad, right? But I can't take this nest down, because at that point we know we got eggs in there.
Yeah.
And then you hear the baby birds, and then we were watching and we could see them poking out over the top.
Yeah.
And then like we'd try to go outside, they'd be dive bombing us. These were some protective mama, daddy, baby birds over their baby birds. And so then this week we noticed that these birds are about to outgrow their nest, and it's time for them to take their first flight, which brought Angie to Wednesday when she's trying to get her thoughts around this podcast.
Yeah. So the irony is Wednesday, I'm writing out the podcast, writing out my thoughts, and all of a sudden this bird flies into our screen on our office window. Like, I'm looking straight out the window and it flies into the screen. And I'm like, what in the world? And it's like it is stuck on the screen.
It's pretty
I
funny.
even videoed it. It was there for a minute, enough for me to pull out my phone and video walking up to the window with this bird stuck to the screen, like holding on for dear life. And then it flies off. I'm like, oh my God, it's the baby bird. Because there's 4 in the nest and 1 left the nest. I mean, you guys, I'm sorry. You cannot make this
No, it
up.
happens all the time with birds.
You cannot make this up. The odds of that moment, I'm writing out the podcast and this baby bird takes its flight, when I'm literally talking about my baby birds taking flight and how hard that is. And here it leaves the nest. I mean, the sheer irony of all of that. But I guess that means we can clean up.
We've given it about 48 hours now. And
They're gone.
We are pretty confident they are gone at this point. So this weekend I can knock the nest down, clean off the mess of the UPS, Amazon, FedEx guys. I feel so bad.
And maybe that's really the story. Maybe that's the story, is that we are going to be relieved eventually when the 4 birds that are at our house right now, you're going to think it's going to be sad, but you're actually going to be ready to
clean up
the mess.
Clean the shit off
and get rid of their shit. I don't know. Maybe. I didn't think about that. Did you think about this?
No, definitely just circled us in right there and brought it all back together in the last minute. So
there you go.
We were waiting for a tie-in. It just came to Angie right at the end of today's episode. So I will work on cleaning that mess from the birds this weekend. But for the rest of you, thank you so much for listening. If you're going through a season of grief, know that we understand. We know that it doesn't end. It is not a chapter that ever closes. It is just something that you continue to read through, if you will. And so we're thinking about you. We're praying for you. And we hope that each and every one of you have an absolutely wonderful week, and God bless. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. Lexi and Hal, take it away.
I'm Lexi.
And I'm Hallie.
Have a great week.
Or have the week that you deserve.
That was perfect.
Yeah, God bless.